Bringing up Bates. Carlin Bates gets a tattoo. Carlin Bates, a familiar face from the reality television series Bringing Up Bates, has long been in the public eye. As one of the 19 children of Gil and Kelly Jo Bates, her life has been documented on camera for years. Known for her bubbly personality, creative flair, and social media presence, Carlin has cultivated a significant following beyond the show. Recently, a wave of interest swept across social media after photos surfaced showing what appeared to be a tattoo on Carlin's hand. The images quickly drew attention from fans and followers alike, with many asking the same question: did Carlin Bates get a tattoo? This question might seem minor at first glance. However, for those familiar with the Bates family's deeply rooted conservative Christian background, such a decision could represent a significant departure from the values espoused throughout the family's time on television. This makes the discussion not only about a potential tattoo, but also about evolving personal choices, individual growth, and the intersection between public image and private life. In this discussion, we aim to break down the context, reactions, and what is known, all from a neutral and factual standpoint. To understand why the possibility of Carlin Bates getting a tattoo became a topic of widespread curiosity, it is essential to revisit the context in which Carlin and her siblings were raised. The Bates family, much like the Duggars from 19 Kids and Counting, adhered to a fundamentalist Christian worldview. This belief system traditionally discourages certain forms of self-expression, including tattoos, body piercings, and even contemporary fashion trends. These values were emphasized in the family's television appearances and often reinforced through interviews and blog content from Gil and Kelly Jo. Carlin, along with her siblings, was raised in a household where modesty, obedience, and religious discipline were prioritized. As such, any perceived deviation from those standards, even something as relatively common as a tattoo, tends to spark conversation among longtime fans of the show. The speculation began when fans noticed what looked like writing on Carlin's hand in an Instagram post. The word or phrase was not immediately clear, but it appeared to resemble the style and placement of a small hand tattoo. Some followers quickly began to comment, questioning if Carlin had indeed gotten inked. Others speculated whether it was a drawing done with a pen, either for fun or perhaps while attending church, a habit Carlin has mentioned before. As the image circulated, different interpretations emerged. Some insisted it looked permanent, while others pointed to the absence of the mark in subsequent photos. Several fans recalled that Carlin had been known to doodle on her own hand during services or quiet moments, a small detail she had previously shared via social media. The handwriting also matched Carlin's typical style: neat, cursive, and often used in her personal journals and product designs for the Bates sisters' boutique. In response to the buzz, no official statement was released by Carlin or her family. The post remained online, and no effort was made to clarify the nature of the mark. Over time, the conversation shifted away, but the question remained in the minds of many who still follow the Bates family's journey. Whether or not Carlin has gotten a tattoo, what remains clear is that her style and choices have gradually evolved over time. As she transitioned from teenager to adult, Carlin began making decisions independently of her family's expectations. In her clothing, makeup, and even business ventures, she has demonstrated autonomy and creative freedom. Her fashion has grown increasingly modern, often featuring styles that would have once been considered too worldly within the context of her upbringing. This shift is not unique to Carlin. Many of the Bates children have adjusted their personal values and lifestyles as they've entered adulthood. Katie, for instance, has been photographed wearing shorts and jeans, while Alyssa and her husband have made different schooling and religious choices for their children than Gil and Kelly Jo did for theirs. These developments suggest a broader trend. The Bates children are maturing, forming their own families, and making decisions that reflect their evolving beliefs. Alongside speculation about her appearance, Carlin has also been very open about her health struggles. In early 2022, following the birth of her second child, Zayd, she began experiencing a series of unexplained health issues, including fainting episodes and seizure-like activity. Her journey through multiple doctors, tests, and hospital visits has been well documented by Carlin and her husband Evan on their YouTube channel and Instagram accounts. Despite the lack of a definitive diagnosis, Carlin has continued to share updates with her followers, emphasizing faith and resilience during a challenging time. Evan eventually stepped back from his previous job to better support Carlin and the children, allowing more flexibility in managing her condition. The couple's transparency has drawn support from fans who appreciate their openness during a vulnerable chapter of life. Amid this backdrop, questions about a tattoo seem less significant, but still indicative of the intense public interest in every detail of the Bates children's lives. Carlin has also poured much of her energy into Bates Sisters Boutique, a clothing brand she co-founded with her sister-in-law, Whitney. The boutique specializes in modest yet fashionable women's clothing, including maternity-friendly styles. Through the boutique, Carlin has been able to channel her love for design, photography, and branding. The aesthetic of the business often mirrors her own: clean, feminine, and cheerful. Some fans have speculated that the boutique's visual language, including script lettering and soft pastels, might influence or reflect Carlin's personal tastes. While there's no direct connection between her brand and the tattoo speculation, it does illustrate that she is someone with a strong sense of personal style and creative interests. Over the past year, there have been periods where fans noticed fewer updates or delayed product drops. This led to rumors about whether Carlin and Whitney were losing interest in the boutique. However, there is no formal indication that they are stepping away from it. Public response to the idea of Carlin getting a tattoo has ranged widely. Some fans have expressed full support, commenting that it would be entirely within her right to do so as an adult and mother making personal choices. Others, often from more traditional backgrounds themselves, shared concerns or disapproval, viewing such a decision as contrary to the values that originally drew them to the Bates family. Importantly, a growing number of followers seem to fall somewhere in the middle, curious but non-judgmental, recognizing that each individual within the Bates family is entitled to evolve as they see fit. This reflects a broader trend in reality TV fandom: the understanding that public figures, especially those introduced to audiences as children or teens, cannot be expected to remain static in their beliefs, appearance, or choices. At the time of writing, there is no confirmed evidence that Carlin Bates has gotten a tattoo. The mark seen in a viral photo most likely originated as a pen drawing, based on context, fan observations, and the absence of lasting visibility. Still, the incident sparked a broader conversation, not just about tattoos, but about change, autonomy, and growing up in the public eye. Carlin Bates remains a vibrant and influential figure to many. Her journey from reality TV teenager to wife, mother, entrepreneur, and online creator is one of continual growth. Whether or not she ever chooses to get a tattoo, she, like many others from conservative backgrounds, continues to navigate the tension between tradition and modernity in her own way. As fans and followers, it's worth remembering that public personas are only a small piece of the full picture. Behind each post and appearance is a person evolving in real time, and that evolution deserves to be met with curiosity, empathy, and respect. Josie Bates gives fans a fashion show amid postpartum battle. In a world where social media often filters out the real and raw moments of motherhood, Josie Bates is quietly shifting the narrative. Known to many as part of the larger Duggars Bates reality television web, Josie Bates Balka has carved her own niche on social media as a young mother, influencer, and style icon in the making. But in recent weeks, it hasn't been just about picture-perfect family shots or curated aesthetic content. Instead, it's been about something deeper: resilience. Following the recent birth of her third child, Josie has been candid about her postpartum journey: the physical exhaustion, the emotional waves, and the dissonance between what people expect new motherhood to look like and what it really is. And in an unexpected but deeply resonant twist, she turned to fashion not just as a passion, but as a form of therapy. Josie Bates first came into the public eye through her family's reality TV show, Bringing Up Bates, which chronicled the life of the large, faith-driven Bates family. But over the years, fans watched Josie blossom from a teenager into a woman of grace, juggling marriage, motherhood, and her growing platform. Now, at 24, and with 3 children under 5, Josie's life is a balancing act. For most, postpartum recovery is a vulnerable time filled with sleepless nights, emotional changes, and physical healing. For someone in the public eye, those challenges are often compounded by expectations, but rather than shy away from the spotlight, Josie leaned into it with authenticity. Her recent fashion-focused Instagram stories and posts weren't just light-hearted breaks from baby content. They became a powerful expression of reclaiming herself amid the fog of postpartum. In one of her most talked-about Instagram posts, Josie posed in a fitted floral maxi dress, the caption simple: "This dress made me feel me again." It wasn't about glamour, it was about grounding. Her followers, many of whom are mothers themselves, responded with thousands of comments expressing solidarity, admiration, and shared experiences. "Clothes aren't just clothes when your body doesn't feel like yours anymore," one follower wrote. "Thank you for showing that getting dressed can be healing." For Josie, this sentiment rings true. She's spoken openly about how postpartum recovery has challenged her sense of identity. "There are days I don't recognize the woman in the mirror," she shared in a recent Q&A, "but getting dressed, even if it's just a cute top and some jeans, reminds me that I'm still her. I'm still me, just growing." In a light-hearted, unscripted moment that went viral among her fans, Josie shared a series of Instagram reels where she strutted down her hallway, modeling a variety of outfits she had recently thrifted or bought online. From high-waisted linen pants to breezy midi dresses, each look was paired with a mix of excitement and genuine vulnerability. "This is the first time I've worn something that isn't pajamas in 2 weeks," she confessed in one reel, laughing as her baby cooed off camera. "Let's pretend I slept." But behind the humor was a powerful message. By documenting her fashion comeback, Josie wasn't just showcasing style, she was normalizing the messiness of new motherhood. "You don't have to have it all together to enjoy a cute outfit," she wrote. "You don't have to be back to normal to feel beautiful." The term postpartum battle often evokes images of late-night feedings, diaper blowouts, and an endless pile of laundry. For Josie, those are all part of the picture, but so is mental health. In multiple posts, she's been transparent about the anxiety and emotional heaviness that can accompany postpartum recovery, especially after her third birth. "I wish more people talked about how lonely postpartum can feel," she shared. "Even when you're surrounded by love from your partner, your kids, your family, there are moments you feel invisible, like you've been completely consumed by this new role." By pairing these honest admissions with joyful snippets of fashion hauls and playful outfit try-ons, Josie paints a complex but genuine portrait of modern motherhood. She isn't glossing over the hard parts, she's integrating them into her everyday content. And in doing so, she's giving her followers permission to do the same. The response has been overwhelming. Josie's inbox and comment sections are flooded with stories from mothers across the globe. Some thank her for the courage to post photos showing the softer, postpartum belly. Others say her fashion show inspired them to leave the house for the first time in weeks. "It's such a small thing," one follower commented, "but seeing you in a cute dress reminded me I could try today too." There's power in relatability in watching someone walk a path you know all too well. And in Josie's case, her openness is making a difference. In a world full of filters and perfection, her willingness to post photos where her eyes are tired, but her smile is real strikes a chord. Fashion has always been a form of self-expression, but for Josie, it's more than that, it's self-care. In interviews and social posts, she's mentioned how setting aside time to get dressed, even if she's not going anywhere, has helped improve her mood and sense of control during unpredictable days. "Sometimes I only have 5 minutes while the baby naps," she wrote in one caption. "But those 5 minutes are mine. Putting on a cute dress or lipstick doesn't solve everything, but it reminds me I matter." This message, simple but profound, is especially important for mothers navigating the postpartum haze. So often, the needs of the mother are set aside for the baby. But Josie's fashion show, with all its joyful twirls and candid laughs, is a quiet revolution, a reminder that moms deserve to be seen, celebrated, and cared for too. Throughout her postpartum journey, Josie has shared glimpses of the strong support system surrounding her, especially from her husband, Kelton Balka. In many of her fashion reels and photos, he can be heard hyping her up from behind the camera or watching the kids while she gets a rare moment of calm. "Kelton tells me I'm beautiful even when I don't feel it," Josie shared, "and some days, that's enough to carry me." Her sisters and extended Bates family have also shown up both online and offline, providing meals, helping with the kids, and sharing their own postpartum stories. This sense of community not only sustains Josie, but inspires her to pay it forward to her audience. "I don't have all the answers," she said in one story, "but I hope by being honest, I can make someone else feel less alone." Perhaps the most striking aspect of Josie's recent fashion content isn't the clothes themselves, but the message behind them: embracing change. As a mother, your body changes, your priorities shift, your time becomes fragmented, but that doesn't mean you lose yourself. "I'm not bouncing back," Josie declared in one video. "I'm moving forward, different body, different phase of life, same heart." It's a message that resonates far beyond the bounds of her Instagram grid. It's a sentiment that any woman, mother or not, can hold onto. As Josie continues to navigate postpartum life, she shows no signs of slowing down creatively. She's hinted at launching a mini capsule collection or collaborating with a clothing brand to design postpartum-friendly pieces that are stylish yet functional. "I'd love to create something for moms who don't want to wear nursing tanks 24/7, she joked. "Fashion doesn't stop because you're breastfeeding." She's also been approached for podcast guest appearances and possibly a motherhood-themed blog, where she could expand on the candid conversations she's started on social media. Whatever comes next, one thing is clear: Josie Bates is redefining what it means to be a young mom in the public eye. With courage, creativity, and a closet full of flowy dresses, she's showing the world that motherhood and personal style are not mutually exclusive, and that every postpartum journey deserves to be seen and celebrated. Josie Bates' fashion show might seem like a small, light-hearted gesture, but for her and many of her followers, it's been a lifeline, a reminder that self-expression doesn't have to disappear when motherhood begins. Through outfits, honesty, and a whole lot of heart, Josie has created something rare in today's influencer world: content that heals. And in a time when so many women are quietly struggling behind the scenes, that kind of visibility is not only refreshing, it's revolutionary. Kelly Jo Bates claps back at haters in latest post. In the polished, well-lit world of reality television, it's easy to forget that behind the smiles and scripted lines are real people with real lives, facing real challenges. Kelly Jo Bates, the matriarch of the large Bates family and beloved star of Bringing Up Bates, recently reminded everyone of that truth with a heartfelt social media post that didn't just address her critics, it silenced them. For years, Kelly Jo Bates has lived under the public eye. As the mother of 19 children, her life has been both celebrated and scrutinized. The Bates family first captured national attention through various appearances on TLC before landing their own reality series, Bringing Up Bates, which aired on UPtv for 10 seasons. While many admired the family's faith-based lifestyle, commitment to modesty, and traditional values, not everyone saw eye to eye with their choices. In recent years, social media has amplified both the support and criticism directed at the Bates family. While fans often flood the family's posts with love and encouragement, critics aren't far behind, commenting on everything from the family's conservative beliefs to parenting choices, and even the personal lives of their now adult children. The backlash Kelly Jo faced recently wasn't unusual by today's social media standards. Online trolls and critical commenters are a dime a dozen, especially when it comes to figures associated with religious or political conservatism. But what set this moment apart was Kelly Jo's decision to respond directly. In an era where celebrities are advised to ignore the haters, Kelly Jo took a different approach, one that blended grace with grit. The criticism centered around several issues. Some fans accused her of enabling outdated gender roles, others slammed the family for perceived hypocrisy, and still others mocked their beliefs as antiquated or controlling, with some of her adult children making their own life choices that deviated from the family's long-publicized values, including career paths, fashion, or even rumored disagreements over church affiliation. The public had more fuel than ever for judgment and speculation. In a rare moment of personal candor, Kelly Jo posted a long message on Instagram. The caption began with a familiar tone: thankfulness, a reflection on family, and a nod to her faith, but it quickly transitioned into a direct address to her critics. "I normally don't respond to negativity," she began, "because I believe kindness and prayer are stronger than words typed in anger. But for those who continue to misunderstand our family's journey or intentions, I want to speak clearly." What followed was a powerful, eloquent defense, not just of her family, but of her own right to live authentically without being constantly picked apart. "We are not perfect people," she wrote. "We are human beings trying to follow what we believe is right. We don't claim to have all the answers. Our children are growing up, learning, choosing their own paths, and yes, sometimes that looks different than what people expect. That's life." Her post made it clear that while she welcomes respectful dialogue, the pattern of harsh judgment, misrepresentation, and malicious assumptions had gone too far. "I will never apologize for loving my children, supporting them, or standing by them, even when their paths diverge from mine. That's what a mother does." What made Kelly Jo's response so impactful wasn't that she fired back with insults or condescension. Quite the opposite. She responded with poise, strength, and unwavering conviction. In an internet landscape often dominated by rage, snark, or sarcasm, her words stood out as refreshingly grounded. She wasn't trying to silence dissent. She was reclaiming her narrative. Too often, public figures, especially women in religious communities, are reduced to caricatures. They're either saintly symbols of perfection or cautionary tales of hypocrisy. Kelly Jo's post reminded her audience that reality lies in the complex middle. "We believe in grace," she wrote, "and we try to extend it even when we are hurt. But grace isn't the same as silence. There comes a time when even the quiet ones have to speak." Kelly Jo's response sparked an overwhelming wave of support from fans and fellow influencers alike. Comments poured in praising her authenticity and courage. "You're a real one, Kelly Jo," wrote one fan. "This is how you stand up with love, not hate." Another commented, "As someone who's followed your family for years, I appreciate you taking the time to remind everyone that no one has the right to dictate how others should live." Many others related deeply to the experience of being misjudged, especially mothers navigating the difficult balance between letting their children grow independently while still holding on to their values. Her post resonated far beyond the typical viewership of Bringing Up Bates. Parenting bloggers, faith leaders, and even secular family advocates shared the message, citing it as an example of how to respond to criticism with dignity. Kelly Jo's statement comes at a pivotal moment. Public perception of large, religious families is shifting. What once seemed like curiosity or admiration can quickly turn to skepticism and critique in the social media age. In the early days of bringing up Bates, the family was often portrayed as a wholesome, joyful alternative to the more controversial 19 Kids and Counting Duggar clan. But with changing times and mounting scandals involving other reality TV families, even the most well-intentioned figures are being reevaluated. The reality is, the Bates family is evolving. Their adult children are branching out, marrying, moving, and forming their own beliefs and traditions. Some have chosen to maintain the family's strong Christian convictions. Others are exploring their individuality in ways that don't perfectly align with how they were raised. For Kelly Jo, the change hasn't been a rejection, it's been a transformation, and her response proved that she's not afraid to embrace it, even if it invites more criticism. "We can hold onto our faith and still love without conditions," she wrote. "We can raise our children with values and still give them the freedom to choose. That's not a contradiction, it's the heart of parenting." What made Kelly Jo's post so impactful wasn't just that